Hello, my name is Nicole.
And I am Janica. We are so excited to be your teacher today. We are going to discuss the approaches in curriculum design and organization.
How will a particular design be approached by the teacher? After writing a curriculum based on the specific design, let us see how a teacher will approach this.
The three common approaches in curriculum design are the following.
Number 1. Child or learner-centered approach. This approach to curriculum design is based on the underlying philosophy that the child or the learner is the center of the educational process. It means that the curriculum is constructed based on the needs, interests, purposes, and abilities of the learners. Principles of child-centered curriculum approach. Acknowledge and respect the fundamental rights of the child. Make all activities revolve around the overall development of the learner. Consider the uniqueness of every learner in a multicultural classroom. Consider using differentiated instruction or teaching, and provide a motivating, supportive learning environment for all the learner.
Number 2. The subject-centered approach. This is anchored on a curriculum design which prescribes separate distinct subjects for every educational level: the basic education, higher education, or vocational technical education. This approach considers the following principles. Primary focus is the subject matter. The emphasis is on bits and pieces of information which may be detached from life. The subject matter serves as a means of identifying problems of living. Learning means a accumulation of content or knowledge. Teacher's role is to dispense the content.
Number 3. Problem-solving approach. This approach is based on the design which assumes that in the process of living, children experience problems. Thus, problem-solving enables the learners to become increasingly able to achieve complete or total development as individuals. Views and beliefs. The learners are capable of directing and guiding themselves in resolving problems, thus developing every learner to be independent. The learners are prepared to assume their civic responsibilities through direct participation in different activities. The curriculum leads the learners in the recognition of concerns and problems and seeking solutions. Learners are problem solvers themselves.
Mrs. Cesaria Romo, 2019, introduced 8 approaches to curriculum design. These are: Number 1. The subject-centered curriculum approach. It is organized on the basis of separate and distinct subjects. Each of these embodies a body of knowledge and skills. The learner is expected to acquire this body of knowledge and skills and is supposedly to apply them in concrete settings. Strengths of this approach include the following: presence of clearly definable goals in relation to the acquisition of facts, contents, and skills. Security for teachers who, having taught the body of subject matter and skills prescribed, have the assurance of having discharged their obligation. While its weaknesses include: the subject-centered curriculum is compartmentalized. Its subject is developed as an entity with little or no relation to other subjects or to the developmental needs of children. The end goal of the subject-centered curriculum is the acquisition of information and skills, with little emphasis upon their use, value, in helping children create a better life for themselves.
Number 2. The child-centered curriculum approach. The philosophy underlying this curriculum design is that the child is the center of the educational process. Thus, the curriculum should be built upon his interests, abilities, purposes, and needs. This type of curriculum emerged from the extensive research carried on in the 20th century carried by John Dewey and his followers. Strengths of this approach include the following: children become the focus of educational efforts, experience become the medium of learning, and children's motivation and learning was recognized. While its weaknesses include teachers sometimes ill-prepared to adapt to changing concepts of child development which fostered rather than freedom. The child-centered philosophy is often conceded to be an inherent weakness. In this effort to free the child, many critics charge that the basic purposes in the establishment of schools were ignored.
Number 3. The problem-centered curriculum approach. It is thought of as the framework in which a child is guided toward maturity within the context of the social group. The strengths of this approach include the following. It places emphasis on the development needs of children and of teachers' knowledge and understanding of the processes of human growth and development and of learning. While its weakness includes, while the needs of society and the needs of its children are inseparable, sometimes these needs appear to be in conflict, with resulting in the need for child-level laws illustrate the exploitation aspect of the neglect of society in rearing its children.
Number 4. Human Relations-Centered Curriculum Approach. To foster effective human relations, the teacher starts with the problems her children experience in daily living in school, in their families, in their neighborhood and community, and in larger communities in the state, region, and the world. Strengths of this approach include the following. Its characteristics are: it is founded upon professional knowledge of human growth and development and the ways in human beings learn, and it recognizes practicalities of growth of life. While its weakness includes, the problem-centered curriculum is an appropriate context for the full flowering of effective human relations.
Number 5. The separate subject curriculum approach. Organizing curriculum ends according to narrow subject divisions evolved from the man's first attempts at ordering learning. Trivium include grammar, rhetoric, dialect, and logic. Quadrivium consisted of arithmetic, geography, astronomy, and music. History, geography, economics, political science, anthropology, social psychology, and sociology is learned in isolation from other fields. The strengths of this approach include the following. Teaching structure departs from almost total dependence on the basic textbook. It necessitates the use of several sources of information, including printed materials, audiovisual devices, the internet, and first-hand experiences. While its weakness includes, despite their good intention, teachers, including those who have gone into higher studies, are not qualified to identify the structure of various disciplines.
6. Integrative or activity-centered curriculum approach. The scope and sequence are found in the child himself. One type of experience may promote sequential learning for one individual and not for another. Strengths of this approach include the following. Integration takes place at all times if these see the relatedness of their experiences. Unit of work is selected and undertaken by the individual or group with the teacher's guidance. While its weakness includes, the integrative curriculum makes use of flexible time allotments, and this can become a source of its weakness.
Number 7. The core curriculum approach. It refers to a variety of meaning, ranging from prescribed subjects, which must be taken by all students, to a broad unit of work, which incorporates elements from one or more content areas. It prescribes common learning and social integration of all students. The strength of this approach includes, it is conceived as core content area from which work project can be derived give primary importance to problems in living, with the subject matter serving as means for resolving these problems. While its weakness includes, the soundness and adequacy of this rationale in the classroom raises the need for identifying problems in living which cut across several content areas.
8. The broad fields curriculum approach. Lessons from several specified areas are offered in one general course to facilitate the integration and more functional organization of subject matter. Strength of this approach includes, Broadfield's organization represents an effort to break away from extreme departmentalization. While its weakness includes, students are not being prepared to become specialists in any branch of science or in geography, history, or sociology, and that all the areas within these broad fields are closely related.
That's it for today.